Alright, here we go again. Next video update. Lotta's last time since the last video, I think there's been a lot of changes. So we'll start here. The first thing we run to is the carrots. I think it's the Scarlet Nantes. This is the variety, I'm pretty sure what it is. Although I don't know why it's scarlet, because they're just plain old orange. But you can definitely see some down there. And some ants that have been farming aphids. But I don't know how much damage they're doing. There's a couple in here. That one you can see. This one you can see. Oh yeah, there it is. That's the one that's been poking out a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what we get. I don't think they're getting ideal sun here. I'm not moving the pot around like I used to last year, but I wanted to do a test and just see if something grows in the same spot, see how they do, and it's acceptable growth, but we'll see what's going on. This is a new thing. When did I do this? I think last Thursday I think I planted these, and you see these are Tokyo Cross turnips. Supposed to be 35-day maturity. There's a group of 4 in there. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll thin them out. I might thin them out today. You know, one of the next couple of days, once one seems to be stronger than the rest. It's just kind of a test. I don't know how they'll grow over the summer, how they'll mature, if they'll even make, but we'll see what happens over the summer. I'm hoping that they are mature enough. Close this back up here. I can't get it now. I hope they're mature enough by mid to late August. Well, late August at this point, that I can have time to fit in another crop, my normal fall crop, but we'll see. These are the Paris Market carrots, and there's one here. Let me see if we can get in here and get this one on film here. There's one. Where is it? There's one right here. I can't see if I'm getting it though. Oh yeah, there it is. They just grow. Oh, let me get that focus again. And it's not really getting in focus, but they're just short and stubby, kind of like a radish. They don't grow long like a normal carrot. So we'll see what happens with them. And then just on Monday, I planted these. These are Fire and Ice radish. It's supposed to be 25 days to harvest. So we'll see what goes with those. And I only did these Monday, and you see they are germinating already. There's a group of 5 in there. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's go around this way. Sunchokes, I'm pretty sure I don't know how tall they were last time, but you see, oh look at that, oh that one's going way up there. The tallest one is probably almost 8 foot now. I don't know, I'd have to measure it, but yeah, they're up there. I mean, I'm 5'3", and they're at least 2 foot taller than me, so 7-8 foot. The cherry tomato is Super Sweet 100 from 5-year-old seeds. And I finally have a couple that are starting to mature. Starting to ripen there, those 2 there. But the storm kind of flopped them over, even though I do have these tomato cages on them. Which, I don't know, it seems kind of pointless because they are flopped over. Producing tons of fruit. 5-6 foot tall. So my only thing, like I said in the last video, probably was I want to use this space down here and over here for another bed, like a square bed. That I have those pop-up enclosures, but I have square ones without a bottom, and I want to put a bed of like turnips here and a bed of turnips here and then a bed of turnips over there. And over here, obviously, or maybe even 2, depending if they fit. I might be able to get 4 beds here. I'm just curious to see. But I'd like to have a turn like 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the pots, obviously, I can move. And the peppers, well, the peppers may not be done by end of August. They could still be producing, but I can move them like to the front yard or to the side. I can move those around somewhere, you know. And then there's probably enough room for one here. But these two, if they're still producing, I don't know what I'd do, you know. Because I'm going to be able to wait no later than September 1st to plant a crop there. Because some of the varieties are 35 days, other ones are 60 to 65 days for the turnips. And they, you know, I want to make sure that they mature right around Halloween, which is our average first frost. But anyway, you can see there's a ton. There's some here. There's more there. There's more over here. There's more, you know, there's some flowers there. They're all over. Oh, here's tons. The pole beans, Vortex or Kentucky Wonder. I can't remember which it was. I did both. A lot of growth, a lot of foliage, but no real beans yet, which should be happening soon. I would imagine the next week or so. There's blossoms, but not many beans yet at all. I had some early down low, like maybe 4 or 5, and then now nothing. So curious to see what's going on with those. The straw flower, I don't think I'll do this again. I just wanted to try a test. I mean, I guess they're kind of cute. These like tiny little papery blossoms. Like you can feel them. It does sound like they're like papery. So kind of interesting, but no fragrance. I won't do it again. The parsley, I just harvested these. I pruned them back by like a third yesterday. They were really starting to do nice. I'm hoping now that I've pruned some of them back that they will start pushing out a little bit more, because I'm drying them. There's three plants, each cut back by about a third. There's a strawberry runner that I'm just doing a little test on. I'll plant him somewhere in the fall, even if it's got some disease on there. There's another bull's blood beet that I just did a transplant test. I started them in a cell module tray, transplanted them, and it looks like it did just fine. So I can definitely do that in the future. Yeah, it's getting something. It's small, but it'll be something. Harvested the jalapenos yesterday. There's still some on there. And there's some on here as well. Jalapenos. These, I think, are those Mad Hatter peppers. There's two plants of those. That's what Google seems to think. The lovage kind of is back here. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't have a good spot for it. I got it hoping I'd find a good spot, put it in a good spot, but I didn't, because now it's going to get covered in weeds back here. It's going to get shaded out. Well, we'll see if it comes back next year, and maybe I can plan around it a little bit better. More bull's blood beets, just as a test. I haven't really been here to baby these guys and water them properly, so we'll see what we get from them. It's so weird though, now that they've been in more sun, I think, the foliage is all red. When it was over the other ones that I actually harvested already, if you notice, that foliage was green and red, and this is like all red. So I assume that's a sun issue, or maybe a heat issue, I don't know. Google seems to think these are Anaheim peppers, or possibly banana peppers. They're like a light green. I'm waiting to see if they mature, because it would be neat to see if they would turn red. That would be really pretty. So we'll see. This is the store-bought potatoes. Just whatever I got that we had bought to eat. Then they sprouted, planted them, and yeah, they came up just fine. So we'll see what we get out of those. Still some life on them, so I'm letting them go. Like the blackberries, this is the strongest plant, the most vigorous plant. Had one single stem come up. The tip died before producing fruit. It just kind of crumbled and got dry and crispy, so I pinched it off. I didn't pinch it, I actually did use my snips, my herb snips. that I use for pruning. And now it's sent out some laterals. So that's the edge of that one. That's the edge of that one. I don't see any flower buds, so I don't know if it's just they're just going to produce, and then I'll get fruit next spring or summer on all the laterals. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how Primo Cane fluting blackberries like this Primark Freedom work. Because online the directions are just very confusing. So, and the idea seems to be after a cane has produced fruit, you can prune it back. But now this one, which is kind of like this one. Now this one, it fruited here, right? And then this one also, the other one, they're acting more normal. They're actually going to get fruit, so I'm letting it go, right? Although this one sent out another cane before this one was cut back. So, and then this one, there's no canes. I mean, there's no flower buds. This one does have flower buds on the second cane. So this is the Primo cane here, and it's fruiting. See the flower bud like back there? There's flower bud up here. There's a bunch up here with no laterals. Now, you can see the flower, the laterals are there. Now I assume, hopefully in the fall, this will fruit, right? Now when do I prune that? Do I prune that? I don't want to do it before it fruits, because I want to get the fruit from it. And then next spring, will it then fruit? I don't know. I'm just so confused of what I should do and what it, its thing kind of is. So, we'll see. But there's 3 plants. They are growing. We'll see what happens with them, I guess. But yeah, they've definitely grown some. And it's their first year at any kind of perennial. First year is just kind of establishing. But you see this one. This one's cane is, I mean, it's almost as tall as me, right? About 5 foot. It's a little shorter than me because this is it's like a 3-inch raised bed, but it's probably right at 5 foot. And this one's a little below 5 foot. And then now this one, because it's leaning a little bit, that's over 5 foot, which is about it's just about its mature height. And once we get all the laterals, I don't know. And this one actually, as you saw over here, this one is starting to ripen a little bit. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm curious to see how that is. There's a rosemary. I got was a transplant doing all right. What else we got over here? Oh, the edamame. They look phenomenal, really. The foliage is a nice dark green, and you can see like down in here, for example, tons of fruit clusters. I mean, they're just loaded. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I'm just waiting for them to fill out. Looks like it's got a couple more weeks yet. They will definitely be ready, though, by time for my fall planting of turnips and radishes. They'll definitely be ready. I mean, it is only, the 16th now, so the 23rd or 3rd. Like, I could give them 4 more weeks. I could give them 30 more days. And that 30 more days would be August 16th or whatever. So I can give them a whole 30 more days. They're actually supposed to be quicker than the Kirikachi variety that I used to grow. These are the Be Sweet variety. And they're 75 days. Kirikachi were 90 days. So I don't know. We'll see. And there's another, the tomatoes, which again has a ton of fruit clusters on it. There's none on that one. There's really none on that one yet, but they're, oh yeah, see, like here, and here, and back here. So tons of fruit clusters. Way down there. It's waiting for them to mature. All right, let's go to the front yard. As I walk past the overgrown thing there. All right. Not as much in the front, but we'll be quick. Sunchokes. This is my side patch. Sunchokes have volunteers. I never water, so I don't care. These ones here have just got natural rainfall. The pineapple sage, I've already harvested it once. Got a mini mason jar full of dried sage that I leave dehydrated. Golden beets. Like, I'm not sure how much sun they're getting here. I didn't thin them out. I may still thin them out, just because my first harvest, the beets weren't huge. I want to give them as much space as possible, even though they're supposed to do okay with multi-sowing. Green onions that I space thickly. I've already cut these back once. So they kind of grow like a grass. I think it's how I will do it in the future. It just makes it easier to harvest. You plant them, you can cut them and they come back. Yeah, sowing them thinly to maybe an inch or two apart, you know, you get thicker stems, but I mean, why? You don't really need them. They're fine. Here are the Kaleidoscope Mix carrots, which seem to be doing better than the ones in the back, the Scarlet Nantes. And look at this one here. You can see that's shoulders right there. And there's a couple of the purple ones, all right up front here, clustered. See, over there, there's one. Here, there's one. There's one over there. There's one behind this one right there. I know my camera work isn't the best here, but... And there's a white one, or orange one you can see there. And these, I don't know. See, I forgot the other potatoes in the back. But these potatoes still, they outgrew their enclosure. I just got lazy, never took them out. So they're kind of spilling out of this enclosure. Because you see all this healthy foliage. And then here, it's kind of looking like crap. Now, the other day, I did dig down in here. I think it was this one, just with my hand carefully. And I did see a potato. So I'll verify there are potatoes in there. Right kind of down in this area on the side of this one, I saw a tiny little sprout coming up, and sometimes that's when if the new grown potatoes start sprouting, that's what that means, because it was a very, very thin stem. And yep, sure enough, that's what it was, because I saw it coming up. So I verified there are some potato nasturtiums. Oh, they got a little heat warned for a while, but now look at them. They look phenomenal now. I don't know if that's their normal habit. I don't know if it's they're in too much sun, too much heat. Didn't water them enough. I thought they were on their way out, and then all of a sudden now they just exploded in color. Because before you could barely see the foliage shrunk. It was hard to see flowers, and they smell nice. So yeah, kind of very happy with those. They were kind of underwhelming in the beginning, but now they look really nice. Echinacea and the black and blue here, salvias. The roses over there. There's some volunteer sunchokes. I didn't plant those. I just missed them from last year. That's a lily, but these are sunchokes over there. The strawberry bed filling out. I let some runners root, and they've definitely expanded, so I'm expecting big things next year. Batch rose buttons kind of on their way out. Eventually, they just get so productive, it's hard to keep up with deadheading them. But they should self-seed once, give them a few more weeks, and I will do just like I did last year. I'll just cut the flower stalks down, lay them up and down the slope here, and then they should reseed themselves. And on the other side, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll plant some of the stalks over there just as a mulch. I even bought extra seeds just to make sure I got some. And I will plant some batch rose button seeds sometime in the fall. So hopefully they can come up next year. Just all on their own. Plant them now to see what happens. Yeah, let's just go back real quick and I will show you the potatoes in the back. And that'll be done. I forgot about these potatoes. Oh, the bush beans. I forgot the bush beans here. These are just bush beans that have been flowering. So hopefully you start seeing some beans off of them soon. Yeah, you see there's flowers down there, so they should be starting soon. Green onions, just because they're so easy to plant. And you can sow them thickly and then just, you don't have to worry about being careful and they don't mind being disturbed. Just plant 15 to 20 in an inch spot and then separate them all, plant them, and then you see what happened. They did fine. These ones I did thinly, or very thinly. These ones are like maybe 2-3 inches apart. They did fine. And just like over here, I just planted them thinly or thickly and then just transplant them. You can literally plant like a cluster of 15-20 and then just be rough with them, separate them, and they do fine. You don't really have to be careful with them. Very, very, very hardy plants. Oh yeah, and these potatoes. Did I miss them? I don't know, I feel like I missed them earlier in the video. But they're still alive. I don't know if they're the Baltic Rose or they're just the volunteer Kennebec or Yukon Golds that I must have missed last year, but I found some in the spring coming up that I didn't plant. Some volunteers. So I put them in some grow bags. It's pre-plants. And yeah, they seem to be growing, so I'm assuming there's tubers under there. Let's see what happens. But foliage isn't looking the best, but it's not dying back. It's not dead yet. There's definitely still life in there, because like, look at this, see? It's still green. Right, and the other one, still some tips that still have, pretty healthy looking foliage yet. So I'm gonna let them go. Hopefully they can make it a few more weeks, because my very, very first ever potato harvest of the red Pontiacs was my best one. That I got the biggest tubers from. And ever since, I get a harvest, but they're never huge. So I'm hoping that I get a better harvest this year. I fertilized a little bit more than I usually had been. And I've tried to keep up with the watering, being careful not to overwater. Hopefully, anyways, hopefully I didn't overwater. One year they were in one of these big white pots like the carrots are in, and I literally dug it up, and it was just the seed potato and rotten potatoes. There was literally, I didn't get a single thing. So since I don't think the grow bags would have that issue, since they do drain faster and they do dry out quicker. So I wouldn't think I'd have that problem, but you never know. I try to let the first couple would just dry out, and if I know it's been 2-3 days since I've watered, then I'll give them another water. But yeah, so I just want to show you that, yeah, see, so there's still healthy foliage on these, so I'm going to let them go until they definitely are on their way back, which they are not now. They're still growing. I mean, they're starting to yellow, not looking the healthiest. Flopped over, which happens normal. We get that first windstorm, that first thunderstorm, they flop like this. But you see they're still tracking towards the sun, even though they're horizontal. At the ends they're vertical. So let's see. All right. Anything I missed? I'll get it next time. I think that's it. Bye.